into turn one. Quickly dropping into second position was Winterbottom, and that was a classic start from the pole man. Up into third place. This is not resolved at the moment. The teammates are side by side. So Coulthard battling Ojeda, and right behind them, Cooper Murray wants to spoil their party.
He certainly does. Cooper Murray's very aggressive in behind Jaden Ojeda. What a great start there by Todd Hazelwood. There was also a car that was parked on the grid, Neil. I reckon there was a stalled car on the grid further down the road. There you go.
Heartbreak there for car number 14. Bryce Fullwood and Brad Vaughan sharing that car. That was so close. Pressure's on at the front. Hazelwood leads Winterbottom, Ojeda, Coulthard, Murray, Whincup, McLeod, Moffat, Slade, Harry Jones here in the top 10. Cold tyres, cold brakes, cold minds. Big pressure though over the top of the hill for the very first time. The first of 161 grueling laps of Mount Panorama. And Todd's just opened up a tiny little bit of a cushion over the top from Winterbottom, from Ojeda, who's now cleared that position. But Murray did get up to fourth, and that's dropped Coulthard back into fifth. No point having an argument to the death on the opening lap.
Certainly not. Very easy to put yourself out with a little bit of contact with another car, or puncture a tyre, or have a guard rub on the tyre as a consequence. So as they come out of Forest Silver, now look for Cooper Murray to put pressure on Ojeda down there in the braking area. Fabian Coulthard's just in behind him. And Todd Hazelwood's been able to gap mark Winterbottom across the top of the hill, gives himself just a little bit of a breather. Half a second is the gap.
How brave to tackle the chase on lap one. How deep do you dive in here? Remember the moment with the deflating tyre for Fabian Coulthard back in 2010. And there's some passing moves going on down here as well at the moment. Car number 96 looking down the inside here. Jordan Boys wanting to make an argument of it. Remember, they just missed out on getting into the top 10 shootout, and he has cleared a position. He's got by Harry Jones into the final corner. Nice work for the youngster from Albury.
That was a nice pass. Up and over the curve there. That's LeBrock on the inside of Delberto as they attack turn one. So pretty vigorous there in the middle of the field. Garth Tanner's made some spots. He's been able to get by there on the inside of Craig Lowndes. So Garth's come from 18th, now up to 14th, gained 4 positions.
Century Batteries chopper cam and the replay of the start. Live pictures in the bottom right-hand corner shows you how strong firing and getting the whole shot was for Hazelwood. In fact, the 2 lead guys, they bolted. They had no pressure at all. However, the cluster of cars in positions 3 and beyond, it was on.
It certainly was. And have a look at the pack as they go over the rise at the end of Mountain Straight there. 3 cars in really close proximity.
Oh, that was
ugly.
Awkward.
Boys was into the back of Slade. Harry Jones is trying to drive it across the front of them. And in the back of that, Scott Pyre's going, you guys are mad. This has got 156 laps to go and you're running into each other.
And Jordan actually had 2 on the grass then. So he's got Slade up the inside. This has got spare parts scattered all over the road, written all over it if they don't manage it carefully. It's a cluster of supercars on the run to turn one. They're bumping and grinding. Pyre was actually getting roughed up in that process. We're riding with Garth on the run towards turn 3. And cool heads need to prevail here or they'll scatter one of these things or more. Into the cutting. How's the cluster of cars? They are jammed on each other. They're on the tow rope. So this is 9th Boys, then Slade, Jones, Russell, Pye, Tander, Lowndes is at the back of all this as well. And LeBrock. They're playing for keeps. We've got 156 laps to go.
They were running into each other on the way into turn 1. They ended up running into each other on the way into 2. And they were still bumping and barging on the way up to the cutting.
He's looking, hunting high and low. Oh, he's trying to thread the needle down here. And that's awkward. He will be hating this first stint with all that traffic everywhere. Lowndes is trying to hunt down the inside here as well. 12 victories between these guys and they're duking it out at turn 1. And there's contact in a straight line between Tander and Lowndes. And Lowndes gets up on David Russell on the run to turn 1, who's been supreme in the Porsche this weekend. Okay, Headmaster, away you go.
I said, stop it. They're 2 of the best drivers in the land. They've made contact on the pit straight. Tander's trying to force him across to the other side. Craig's still there. Actually, that was very lucky for Garth, because if Craig stays there, he writes him off. If he stays there, he fires him in so hard So that was a very gentlemanly bit of driving by Craig Lowndes then, because that could have ended Tander's day.
A couple of highly experienced hardheads not giving an ounce. So 32nd start for Lowndes, 27th start for Tander. And at that point, they were quite willing to take it to the limit. Awesome stuff. Stalking him, he's thinking about it. Frosty just covered him slightly just to make sure that there wasn't any open invitation on the run to the elbow. Meantime, Murray has gone faster in sector one on this lap than anybody else. The current fast lap belongs to Scott Pye on a 7.4. Murray might knock that off. Now think about the Red Bull performance into the final corner, turn 23. Is Whincup going to do what Pye's been doing down the bottom? Can he have a nibble at him when they get to the bottom of the chase? He's haunting him big time. Wow. That was wild. He only just got that done. Yeah, man, that's challenging to be able to do that in that spot. That's high risk.
Let's have a look. Off comes the wheel. Under goes the jack stand, and they're going to put that centre punch into the platform that above the spring. We call it a perch, and they're winding that. Looks like they're winding it down a little bit. So that will be lowering the rear ride height of the car ever so subtly, and I would say that is about preparation for a bit of shower.
Yeah, looking for a bit more drive, taking some of the energy away from the rear of the car to settle it, try and balance it. Might have been too lively in the rear for him. And that hurts the rear tyre, hurts the lap time. It's the opposite to what's happening with Whincup. So they're trimming to the moment. So they've got 6 out in front of 25.
So part of this is also about fuel economy. Actually, we're getting early signs of fuel economy already.
Yeah, and it'll always be a lap shorter off the start than in the race proper. Boys, Jones, Lowndes, Tander, Delberto in, out. Oh, this is all going on here. And Ryan Wood looking to make an aggressive move, and he's been blocked in both directions on both the way in and out. So now he tries to go the long way. This is going to be Willing here, being on the outside. We saw it back in 2005 in pretty poorly, and he's still trying to thread high, low, up, down, round. That didn't work too well.
Yeah, we also saw a big moment with Scott McLaughlin and Shane Van Gisbergen in exactly that area back in Volvo days. And Ryan Wood tried to capitalise that. He actually went from the outside, tried to turn back on the inside of Cam Waters and fire down the inside of the cutting. But Cam was across that. He knew where he was headed.
As we go back and pick up on car number 96, and Macaulay Jones gets away with it, but that was properly average, unfortunately, for Aaron Cameron, who's made heavy-duty contact with the wall up there, and a big moment for Frosty at McPhillamy, and he was well in the weeds. Spots of rain on the lens up there. Chad asked the question, he begged the question, when's the weather going to come? Well, it's well and truly on its way. Will Brown is blazing. Brock Feeney's blazing. They're making their way towards the front at the moment. They're sitting in first and fourth. Hazelwood second, Job Stewart in third. A little wipe of the window means it's wet enough to get your attention.
Because at this point, Ryan Wood's got real pace on him, and for both of them, they don't need to get involved in a battle because you lose 3 or 4 seconds straight away. Down the inside, that's a bold move. Haven't seen that move put on today yet, but that's a nice move. So probably
caught Job by surprise a bit with that one, to be able to fire it up the inside. Richard Harris on the radio to Ryan Wood, and so he immediately snatched back that position.
Percat, your car sounds pretty crook out there. What's going on?
It looks like we've lost a cylinder. Yeah, it's been an absolute nail since Thursday in a straight line, and it's finally given up maybe, I'm not sure. So yeah, this is very, very upsetting. Obviously, you're kind of cruising around in a very good spot. The balance was pretty good, but you know, from the first lap of the race, Slade, he said we had no straight line, so yeah, not ideal.
Not ideal at all. They've just cleared the garage, guys. It's coming back. Sorry, Nick.
Okay.
Oh, trouble at the top of the hill. This will be at the elbow. Car. We've got a shell car in the wall. And Delberto, unfortunately for Tony Delberto and his 10th outing for Dick Johnson Racing, as something's gone amiss at the top of the hill. There's a bit of junk on the road there as well for Will Davison. Game over for him.
And I reckon that's
Can
grabbed
you
the
move it behind
inside
the wall,
wall
or is
by
it
the
not
look.
movable?
It certainly hit the outside wall hard. You can see there was a shock absorber out of the car that was on the middle of the
Safety car
road.
boards and flags. Safety car boards and flags.
This totally changes the complexion of the race now. It bunches the field back up, and for D'Alberto and Davison, the most experienced Bathurst combination in the field with 41 starts, disaster at Forest Elbow. Now, did he do it on his own and clout the inside wall? Did anybody help that cause?
There was another car behind, but I don't know whether he got hit or not.
13.
I reckon he might have made contact with the inside wall, and that little piece that protrudes, as you said earlier. But it will be interesting to get some other angles. But to your point, there's the shock absorber in the middle of the road, and he has bumped the inside wall straight in. Oh,
He got the, I referenced it earlier in the call. There's just a little awkward join in the concrete where a couple of the concrete blocks are. Listen.
Yeah. Oh, that would have hit hard.
The inside one was a glancing blow. Outside, not so much. It was ugly. And he had his hands on the wheel, and it's just made massive impact. We've got green flags for go, and he leads Jaden Ojeda down into the final corner as we get it going one more time. Cam Waters in behind. It's going to be challenging because the conditions are not great out there at the moment as tyres cooling down, and Mostert has pulled off the road. So that thing has officially carked it. And Waters pokes it up the inside straight away, grabs second spot. So not mucking about there, getting right on with it, and reignites the battle from the start of the race.
Really important move there, Cam Waters, because where Mostert stopped on Conrod Straight, I reckon they're going to put the safety car back out again. So that was a really important, authoritative move, straight down the inside. Holdsworth also having a little look on the inside of Ojeda. He's going to try to turn back the other side of him off turn 2. Here's the safety car again. So great move, Waters, to capitalise on that early move. And that is a big moment for Waters.
And that's where Chaz has parked, right on the turn-in approach on the outside.
All teams first double yellows will be turn 19.7. Marshall Post 19.7 will be first double yellows.
It's a sad end watching that car coast to the outside of the road down here at the chase. So that won't take terribly long to get it back into the lane. And as Mark observed, pretty handy manoeuvre there to be able to get car number 6 up into second place with one decisive move under brakes at turn 1, not mucking about. Note the water on the screen here in Chaz's car. And you can still hear that the master's on and it's powered in the background, and he pops it into neutral, and he knows that his day is done. Chaz Mostert, Fabian Coulthard out of the great race in 2025. So the recovery team now just going to drag this thing out of harm's way, and I think Chaz has decided for just a stroll, a leisurely stroll, going to go to Robbo's for a quick beer, who's a legendary character who's parked off to the side there, and there's plenty of folks there to greet him, and he can relax for the afternoon, but not in the way that he wants. He's come into this event today 5th in the championship. However, he's already got a locked position into our championship.
There's Robbo.
Yes, Robbo.
And how long, let's have a bet, how long, I'm saying, my bet was, how long before he gets a beer? How long was that? I would have had a lot on it. That was Winks odds to get on that one then.
Standing ovation for Chaz Mostert drinking a beer at Bathurst.
Yeah, great effort. There's Murph laughing with Fabian. We all knew what was going to unfold. It just took about 5 metres earlier than I thought.
Yeah, you were just champing at the bit to be able to get that one out. So 7 minutes past 2. It's a little earlier than typical beer o'clock when you drive at Bathurst, but that'll do. As we get it rocking and rolling one more time, we've got 101 laps to go. It's about to be 100 when they cross the line. How about the question marks over car number 38 for Brody Kostecki? That's a concern. We will monitor that very, very closely. Waters is stalking because Waters made that critical jump and pass in between the two safety car interventions, and that keeps him in touch as they weave on the road here to try and keep some energy and temp in those tyres.
And there's a fair bit going on. David Russell had to cover there for Garth Tander. They're in 10th and 11th. And when Russell moved it over to the inside, Garth was able to get a run. Now he's right in behind him. He'll be trying to put a move on. And he's not quite able to do it in the braking area. So Kostecki leads nicely from Waters.
That was Nash Morris that we caught a glimpse of on the run into turn 2. He's also in that midfield zone at the moment, around 15 and 16, as we tuck right in underneath the back of car number 18. Harry Jones at the helm. We're riding with James Moffat here. Third gear now on the climb up to the top of the hill. We'll stay with him.
Ooh, he missed the apex.
This is the hustle and bustle on a restart.
The whole essence of this is to get the car right in behind off the back of the dipper. So this is Skyline, down the hill, through the S's. Slow it up, get it off the dipper, and be in a spot to fight on the inside of Forest Elbow. He's not close enough.
Lost a little bit of ground, in fact. James has been successful this year in Trans Am, keeping his mileage up. Oh, I can hear someone with a lock-up in the background. That's not a place to be locked up for too long. Whomever it was got away with it. Brody's got half a second up his sleeve over Cam Waters at the moment as the field streams down on this restart lap, 100 to go.
That ugly noise you could hear was the battle down there with Zach Best and Dale Wood, Neil. So that was trying to put a move on at Forest Elbow. Now also, I reckon Murray got by Whincup. I think Murray got by Whincup somewhere here. Right there. That's a move.
That's a shrewd move.
That's a really good move. Nicely done. Beautiful move.
He just jumped him. So Whincup and Pye are sitting 7th and 8th. Remember, there's a bit more fuel in the Red Bull cars as well, but that was a nice move. The gap was there, and he chose to use it. Anybody could win this race today.
Yep.
Anybody can win it. It is wide open. We've been racing for 2.5 hours. We've got a long way to go. The Red Bull cars are lying astern at the moment. They're 7th and 8th. The conditions are getting worse. It's pretty much on target. We expected things to get ropey around 2 o'clock, and it's slippery up there. They're on a slick tyre, but they'll hang on as long as they can in these conditions. And the leader's up. Kostecki's gone off the road. This is going to gift the lead to Waters. Brody made a mistake. He did look like he was barely hanging on. He's gone from 1st to 2nd to 3rd, but he now argues the case down the inside and he reclaims 2nd. But Ojeda wants to make a fight out of this. Brody hangs on. Now he's on the attack. Dives it up the inside and they make contact into turn 1. Waters and Kostecki have got a fight to the death going on with 96 to go.
And Jamie Whincup was completely out of control in the braking area. There's 6 cars within 3 or 4 car lengths. That was unbelievable. And Brody's now accelerating by him. He's got a little side draft. What happens in the braking area at turn 2? The inside run for Waters might be powerful here. He gets it. Brody's going to have to fall back in behind. Holdsworth now 3rd.
Have a look at the slide for Waters. He went full sprint car spec through the right-hander at turn 2. Brody went from 1st to 2nd to 3rd, argued the case, got to 2nd and is back in the battle for the lead. He's on the outside here of Waters. He's got better traction and he's grabbed the lead. Can you believe this, Australia? Kostecki is back in the lead. Waters is going punch for punch. Somebody's going to end up in a wall if they're not careful. Waters, Kostecki. How about Holdsworth in 3rd? Ojeda, somewhat of a rookie in this caper, is in with the heavyweights. And in behind him at the moment is Lowndes. Then it's Whincup and then Murray. Cam Waters leads the Bathurst 1000. This is a race.
Waters just rounded up Kostecki around the outside at Reed Park. That is just unbelievable. The first move for Kostecki around the outside of the cutting, and then the return of serve for Waters. This is tremendous driving by these 2 blokes at the front. It's out of control.
Stewards are looking at the incident between Cam McLeod and Nash Morris. That's under investigation. We'll keep you posted on that one. The wipers are on. The grip's been somewhat reduced. Have a look at the scrambling pack further down the order. Jordan Boys has moved up one spot on James Moffat.
It's the grass.
Trouble on Conrod Straight and then managed to get away with it. Can you believe the situation out there at the moment? It is completely and utterly off the scale. Waters leads barely by the the skin of his teeth at the moment from Kostecki. This is so hard to command a 1.5-ton supercar in these conditions. These tyres are not designed to do this, and in they come. They're coming in for wets. So Waters comes in, Kostecki comes in, Holdsworth stays out. He's braving it for the moment, and we're going to have a gigantic change for the top order at the moment. Two things to look at here at the moment. The new leader of the race is Holdsworth, who won it in 2021. Jaden O'Jada was second, is now third, and Whincup, who's won it 4 times, has moved up as well.
This is a massive strategy call today. A massive call for the leaders, because this might tell the winner of the great race.
Well, this makes absolutely no sense. At Triple Eight, they've rolled out the wets and they've rolled out the slicks, but now it looks like they're using the slick tyres to hold up the wets. It was a strange call. They changed their mind 3 times which tyres they're going to go to then.
It's so hard to read out there at the moment. We've been openly questioning the whole notion of the crossover. They're doing 29s or 30s. That's about the crossover time, Scott, for us to keep an eye on. And it's a penalty for car 4 for Cam McLeod, 15 seconds. The congestion in the pit lane is radical. The congestion on the racetrack is radical. Holdsworth leads from Whincup from Ojeda. This has scrambled the strategy here as well.
But Pai, the reason they've come in with Pai was way back.
Yes.
He'd lost a huge amount of ground as soon as it got really slippery. So they didn't have an option with Pai, but they've obviously left Whincup there. Now, Holdsworth has been driving on alternate lines. He looks like he's still strong, but here comes Whincup in behind him. Young Jaden Ojada's just back from 1 step, and then the experience, and off the road now. This is so bad as a consequence of what's gone on with these conditions. Nash Morris, who was crashed out, and the cutting is off now.
This will be a safety car if they can't move
Safety
that
car
car.
boards and flags,
Yeah.
safety car boards and flags.
And maybe these guys get a free stop now. They get a short stop.
So the field well and truly scrambled here at the moment. Cam McLeod has got the 15-second penalty over his head. He's just come back into the lane as 99 dives down the inside here, and we've got trouble, unfortunately, for Winterbottom. He's off at Forest Elbow, and this is costly. Remember, they just come in. He was already down the bottom of the order in 22nd position. It's ingested a pile of dirt and junk in the front of it. That's a significant turning point. And it's an animated Mark Winterbottom in the background talking to Sam Potter. Triple Eight's in. Lowndes has gone onto a wet tyre as well, no doubt. And that was Crick in the background with car number 35 as well.
This is a game changer now.
That thing's damaged badly. What a shame. These guys were well and truly in this show this afternoon, and that's much heavier contact than I thought. It brings him into the lane again. Now, can they pluck the guard off it and get a tyre on it, or has it got something underlying in the suspension? Wow, look at what's going on the right-hand side of screen up the top of the hill. Seriously, and I need a swivel head to catch up. It is unbelievable looking in every direction round here at the moment to see what's happening in this motor race. Russell leads from Tander, 3.1 seconds. Key runners are down the bottom of the order here at the moment, some of them bruised.
Absolutely, and when you look at that there, that's the battle with Job Stewart and Hazelwood as they're trying to trickle their way across the top of the hill without having any more drama than what we've seen. Hazelwood tucked right in behind there, and this is the damage to car 6. There'll be a very quick review here, and maybe that front air dam needs to come off the car. Be battling to get the front wheel off. It's going to be impacted by that, Mark.
Big moment. This is the stuff that changes your whole race day. No real significant damage other than that bar being pushed around, as you noted there, Scafie, onto the wheel. So, but this Kevlar material, look at that. It is tough. It's like bulletproof stuff. So if they can just trim enough out of the way, get that tyre back on. But I've got to say,
please, Rhino Henry.
they'll lose a little bit of aeromobility. Not like, oh, look at that, just a little bit more. Just a bit more.
Not only that, they're going to lose a lap because the pack is about to arrive down here.
I see that, Neil. What a shocker.
What a shocker. The pack is coming through the final corner. He's now a lap down. Now, Lucky Dog later in the day might save that, but for now, this is very bad news for Tickford fans. So, okay, that was the tyre change. That's what triggered this.
So slick's
it's
going on.
It was the soft tyre. Now I understand it. Yeah.
And just watch this, how slow it is. Seriously, it'd be like being in a car park. Just absolutely no grip at all.
That illustrates it perfectly. I mean, they're so impossibly difficult to drive in these conditions on a slick tyre. We've been watching that very carefully in the last 4 or 5 laps, and it's down to 0.4 of a second officially on the clock. Ojada's got him in the gun sights here at the moment at turn 3, and this could be a challenge for the lead coming up very, very soon. He's clearly got much more pace at the moment. So I wonder whether Davey's just taken too much of the edge out of the tyre all of a sudden. He's going to clear him pretty easily here on the current estimate. Grabs third gear, Ojeda. No space here. It's a single line trying to thread that margin at the top of the mountain. Not any space to go left or right there. In fact, there's not a lot until you get down here to Forest Elbow if you can get down the inside. Otherwise, it might be the question of being a little more patient down the bottom of the hill where there are further gaps. He's right in the draft of that car at the moment, and not very far behind. You'll see glimpses of the Cool Drive car. Zach Best is lurking behind here at the moment in car number 3. That's a car that, if you were watching the coverage earlier, with Aaron Cameron at the helm, whacked the outside wall at turn 2, buckled the rim. It's ridiculous that was able to continue without suspension damage. Now, Russell was smart then. He moved it to the left to absolutely close off any possibility of a pass down the inside. There is the third car in the queue, Zach Best. And Ryan Walkinshaw, and alongside him, the Vice President of Sales, Marketing and Franchise, Sean Hanley from Toyota Australia. Here we go, having a look down the inside. Didn't quite get there, but now he opens it up down the inside, and I don't think David's going to make a fight of this one, and that is a change for the lead. This has been a very strong performance in this sequence by Jaden Ojeda, and they appreciate the efforts inside the garage at Walkinshaw Andretti United.
Okay, Brody's out here, getting ready to get in the car now. As this car comes down the lane, you'll watch this Shell V-Power Mustang. It's lights off and cool suits off. And Neil, you're exactly right. There is an underlying problem. They don't know what it is. The alternator's not charging completely, but it is giving a little bit of charge. And they're watching the battery voltage slowly diminish. So what they're going to do, he actually shouldn't have his headlights on. So they're going to put a battery in. They might even have to put a second battery in later on in the day. Now, let's hope they can cover this off inside a fuel stop and a driver change. About 32 seconds going on here. So they're in there, undoing the clamp. It's awkward in there. There's very, very busy tubes. First bolt's undone. They're using a battery drill with a little ratchet on it. Oh, what an awkward situation. No, this is a little slower than they would have anticipated. Just a lot of drama getting in there and getting the bolts undone on the clamp, holding the battery down. Oh, wow, this ain't going to plan.
No, it's no easy task. So clear now. Oh, he had neutral. He had a pile of neutral going on then. He had to hook it into gear. So he now departs, but there was some cost in that. Thank you for the update. You were on the spot down there. A big moment also for 55 into turn 1. Thomas Randall had it crossed up in there in these slippery conditions. Whincup is the leader. Whincup out. All clear.
10. Okay, make sure you got a gear. You're going to be clear when we drop you. Standing by. Get ready. You're going to be clear. Standing by. Clear, clear, clear.
And I think I just caught a glimpse of Thomas Randall making some ground there on Matt Payne as well. We could see that hustle going on before. Meantime, back here, it's all going on at the moment. Jared Hughes running slightly wide there in the tyre power injury. He's behind Kai Allen. Behind Hughes is Lowndes. Behind him is Hazelwood, then Courtney as they do a driver change here at Team 18.
And he's just drilled him. That's Brody straight into the back. Straight into the back of Kai Allen. So that's Brody just going out. That's basically his first proper lap in the rain. And he's locked the wheels and smashed into the back of the Penrite car.
That will have, I imagine, some pretty serious damage on the front of it. This is now a gigantic game changer for Brody Kostecki. So that might have been the pivotal knockout moment. And there goes car number 6, Mark Winterbottom, as well in that process. So that's a huge moment here. There was already a question mark over the top of this guy based on what was going on electrically. You saw it, Mark, while we're looking at strategy. So he's going rushing up there, and the close rate difference is enormous. that's made a big hole in the back of the Penrite car. He's hit Kyallen very, very hard. No chance of stopping. Hard to get a glimpse of the front of the thing there. Have a look at the damage on the bumper and the guard on that thing. It's like a shark attack. Look at this. Oh, bang. So that gives us a bit of an assessment. There's bits flying everywhere. So the whole front bumper assembly's caved in.
That's
wheel
spin.
spin left. And Hughes. And Allen. Bang. And then it took him a while to manoeuvre because this is an awkward spot. Alistair McVeigh frustrated and some head shaking going on inside the garage. And check out the back of that. Brody Stecky's
Race
got...
control, attention on teams. The stewards opposed a penalty of drive-through to car 38 for a drive infringement.
We have got 56 laps remaining and we've got a huge problem here with car number 18 crabbing its way down the straight. There's been a major rear end failure for that car. What a shame here for Anton Di Pasquale. Sideways down Conrod Straight. And for Andrew Donnelly, that young engineer inside that group, Charlie Schwerkott was hoping for a big result today. Their cars have been pretty competitive so far this weekend. This one was in the wall earlier in the weekend. Harry Jones at the second last turn, and Anton doing everything he can to wrestle that thing home. He's sitting down in 16th at the moment, about to pull off the racetrack. There's been a major failure with that car. The white flag indicates to those that are following that there's a slow car on the edge of the road. What on earth has gone on with this thing? So from this moment, as we wait for Anton to get back in the lane, we've got 2 stops to go. Everybody working backwards from lap 161 to try and figure out what they can do with tyres and with fuel. Oh, it's contact with the wall, heavy contact with the wall. So it was actually the left front. I thought it may have been from the rear of that car. Could be both ends, in fact. And there it is limping out the other side. So he's been caught by the slippery conditions up there. The second time this weekend that car has found concrete. And unfortunately, it's actually damaged both in the left rear and left front of car number 18. Game over for the DeWalt entry for 2025. We've got trouble here, unfortunately, for 88. So Feeney is in the wall at the elbow. Now, if this thing cannot be removed, this will trigger a safety car. What a disaster for the championship leader. In reverse, he's going to gas it as hard as he dare.
He's got too much lock on it.
He's got lock on it. It's buried in the Pizza Hut banner up there. This is a game-changing moment in the Repco Bathurst 1000, not just in this race, but it also changes the complexion of the championship. Brock Feeney is jammed up hard in the wall at Forest Elbow, tumbling down the order and doing everything he can to try and drag it out. They gave him time to recover.
Incident turn 18.
The race director, James Taylor, in the background. There they are in race control above us, and they have now triggered the safety car. Now, there goes the margin between Wood and Golding.
Yep.
This is going to change the universe.
Gone, evaporated. And that's a brand new tyre, Neil. That's the new tyre that didn't come in.
Well, and the same with his teammate. Everybody that ended up on a cold tyre has been really battling early on. It's just ploughed straight ahead. You end up almost at walking pace. Listening. So to try and poke it down the inside down there could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, that was clever, just to pull out of it. He didn't need to make that move straight away, but he does look like in certain areas of the track that he's got a little gain. Matt Payne's not going away either. They've gapped the next car at Aaron Cameron and Kai Allen. So the front 3 have escaped, and they're 2.5 seconds up the road on P4.
Can the 21-year-old from Wellington in New Zealand, Ryan Wood, that's mentored by Greg Murphy, take a very special victory in the Repco Bathurst 1000? Can James Golding win his first ever supercar race and be the victor in this race? What about Matt Payne? And here we go. There could be a move on the outside. Payne could be in this as well. Does he force the issue up the inside? He does. And he does. James Golding leads the Bathurst 1000.
That's a move.
That is a move.
Watch this, mate.
And we're
Around
not
the
done
outside.
yet. Here comes Woody again on the outside. They're fully traction limited, and the beneficiary might be Payne when all this is going on. And in his corner is a 5-time winner in the background in Garth Tander. Wood looking to go down the inside, but Golding's got him cleared now.
But
Over
only
the top of the hill, and they are barely hanging on. These things are slipping. They are sliding. These guys cannot really see where they're going. There's a lot of muscle memory involved in this. There's a lot of understanding. There's a lot of faith in self, in car, and your competitor. But it's hard to get too much into the numbers when you're just watching pure, hardcore, great quality motorsport in the most treacherous of conditions at the moment. Does he get down the inside? No. That was so awkward. What a messy move there, unfortunately, for Will Brown. Heavy contact with Kai Allen, who's already been a punching bag today. The back of that car is heavily beat.
Yeah, he was nowhere near stopping. I think he's done damage to the front of Will Brown's car. Oh, and a serve up there. LeBrock's given Allen one. He's just been a punching bag today. And that's been another excursion as a consequence of contact with another car.
Corley Jones has come up to his equal best finishing position in 7th at the moment. Golding's got 1 second. Dale Woods watching in the garage at Penrite. Everybody up and down this lane in contention. If you're in the garage for Golding, Wood, Payne, Cameron, Reynolds, Heimgartner, Jones, LeBrock, Murray or Randall, they are glued to their monitors. More trouble here also for Red Bull and Brown. The bonnet's come off that thing.
But that's hit something at the front to be able to do that. So that's actually hit something at the front that's dislodged the two mounts at the front.
It's got no rear wing.
Yeah, copy.
So
You know what's around me? You know what's around me?
he can't see anything.
Around you at the moment. There's a car.
Andrew Edwards trying to guide him back to the pits. Matt Payne now putting heaps of pressure on.
Yeah, Woody's under threat here. So what's gone on? Here's the replay. We'll understand what's happened here to Brown. He skated into turn 2 and did exactly what happened to Chaz earlier in the weekend. Only didn't go in at such an acute angle. So this just, look at the calibre of the drivers making mistakes. Golding, Wood, Payne. Golding's in the Newlon car. Woods in the Mobile Truck Assist car. Payne is in the Penrite car. Everybody is bunched nose to tail. James has got control of it. He's waiting till after the final corner before he gasses it. Now he gasses it up in second gear and fires out the other side. We are racing again with 25 laps to go in the 25 edition of the Repco Bathurst 1000. They are race driving on a mirror, and Golding's gone wide. Golding's gone wide in the braking area, and that releases Ryan Wood. They skated into turn 1 on a mirror. There's no grip out there at the moment. Golding relinquishes the key position and gives that visibility to Ryan Wood.
That's the pioneer. That's the element that we knew before the start was going to be an issue. Now remember that he come from behind and rounded him up before. There's the reaction down there at WAU. It's not over, boys. Don't get too carried away yet. There's 25 laps to go.
Critical moment there for James Golding at that restart. Exactly what we were talking about. When you're first in the queue on a track that looked like that, that was the worst that I'd seen it all day. It was shining like your bathroom mirror. Now they're negotiating the top of the hill. Even more treacherous up there. When it all goes wrong at turn 1, you've got space. When it all goes wrong at the top of the hill, you've got nothing but concrete walls all around you. Wood leads over the top for WAU from Golding, from Payne, from Reynolds. And we've got a serious motor race unfolding at Bathurst.
You cannot believe how wild this is now, folks. These cars are out of control. There's rivers of water. There's standing water. There's fences on either side of the road. And you attack Skyline at over 180k in the wet as you come down the hill.
Corley Jones in the wall at the elbow. Does this trigger a safety car? And the wing is off the car, which means it'll have to be retrieved. What will they do about it? How do they manage it at race control? We've got 24 laps to go, and this race has gone berserk.
Can the recovery guys get that car out? He's up the road.
Safety car boards and flags. Safety car boards and flags.
That just happened. That happened before it. So he was already off the road. That'll mean Golding leads.
The call was right at the critical moment of the rejoin. Game over. Game over for Ryan Wood. It's blown his mind. It is ridiculous.
Bring it in, mate. Bring it in if it's not going.
So that's 2 for 2 for WAU. Can you believe this? We've gone green on the timing monitor. The green flags are flying. Again, if you are a pioneer, James Golding, it can be treacherous, but did he learn from the last one? He only just got through the other side. David Reynolds runs wide. He loses time. They are going to be too wide when they get to the end. Have a go at Cooper Murray. He's going to lead them by the time they get down into turn 1, but he's on the outside. Already they've swapped Payne. And Golding this time manages turn 1 and holds onto it out the other side. But Cooper Murray has lit the fuse on this thing and it is blazing.
It's going to be wild up here. They will not be able to see anything over the rise. The car's burst into wheel spin at 240 kilometres an hour over the rise. Job Stewart looking on with Benny Klomenko, but this is going to be epic. 21 laps remaining. Big slide there for Golding. Massive slide.
Look at the pace of Murray. He has just gone to the lead. They have gone completely off the clock inside the garage at Erebus. He's leading by 2 car lengths by the time they get to turn 4 at the cutting. Cooper Murray has got this thing lit. It is blazing up the hill. Golding back in second position. Payne in third position, then Heimgartner, then Cameron, then Randall with 5 seconds hanging over him. From Reynolds with Stanaway next, then Allen, and then Cam Hill in position number 10. That car has got ridiculous speed at the moment. Cooper Murray is blazing down the road, 3/4 of a second up.
And off Stanaway in the fence. Another safety car will come out now. There's 18 laps remaining. What else can happen in this race today? This is extraordinary.
There's the replay. Again, so easily done. You've only got to be 1 kilometre an hour too quick. Have a listen. Chased it, fed it second gear, and locked the rear, spat him into the wall. Heartbreak. And that wall at the tyre power cutting has torn that thing apart. Green flags, we're going racing one more time. Do we have another safety car intervention? Cooper Murray's got control of the field. Thank you for the update, Mark. Then we've got James Golding, Matt Payne, Andre Heimgartner as well in this game. The radio is going flat in that car from Aaron Cameron. Tom Randall with a penalty hanging over him. Then Reynolds, then Hill, then Allen. A little bit of contact when they came into that final corner. Can't pass before you get to the control line, and there could be a positional change by the time we get up here to turn 2. Murray's bolted down the road, and Golding's run wide here, and that's going to allow Payne up the inside. He could not stop it, and he's going to be vulnerable here, vulnerable to Heimgartner. And it's a great start here for Matty Payne. So Heimgartner gets up on the outside, and all of a sudden for Golding, the world has changed. He's gone back now into 4th position. Heimgartner's on the podium. They'll be delirious at Brad Jones Racing. But is he going to get back up the inside here, Golding? They go side by side at turn 2. He forces the issue and drops Andre back 1 more spot. Heimgartner back into 4th, then Aaron Cameron.
I reckon there might have been a little bit of contact with Payne and Golding. Now remember, Golding's tyres early were terrible. His car was shocking in the first phase of this race at the last restart.
The visibility is still shocking up there at the moment. The track is still treacherously slippery.
Oh!
So slippery, in fact, that Cooper Murray barely hung onto it. He's going to be vulnerable when they get down here to the left-hander. And down the inside comes Payne again. They're side by side with a tiny bit of contact. This is going to be a drag race to the bottom. This might change the lead in the Repco Bathurst 1000. Payne has just barely got the nose in front. Who is going to be brave down here? And whether or not Golding can be a beneficiary. This is absolutely crazy. How about Golding? Golding needs to find some space. Side by side through the chase for the lead. Payne almost threw that thing away. Can they stop it? Will he stop it? No, he's off the road. Cooper Murray goes back to the lead. James Golding goes to second and Matty Payne goes to third. That was unbelievable.
That was as good as you ever see. The best of those young blokes blazing through the fastest corner in Australasia, and they're alongside each other, and they were in the grass. Matty Payne regained control of the car. he was always going to overrun then. And now you've got Golding attacking Murray. This is high-level stuff. What a motor race.
Unbelievable.
Check this, check this. They bumped, and then they get to the right-hander. Watch this. You get through there, they've rubbed mirrors, they've ended up in the grass, and Matty Payne regains control of the car, but he just can't pull it up. And that was an incredible exchange.
Oh, well, and the problem for him here, let's have a look at the onboards. Payne up on the outside, but he's on the shallow line, and it's wetter over there. He just can't stop it, and he just skates across the front. And that'll be a little bit of a relief there for Murray, who's just 24 years of age. This motor race continues to surprise.
Reynolds took a second off them down the hill on that lap. So that gap is now 3.5 seconds back to David.
Here he is.
If these guys fire themselves off, which is a big chance, David Reynolds could win this race. Who knows what unfolds here now. So the outside line, what they're doing and what Cooper Murray's doing an exceptional job of, Neil, is at Forest Silva, he runs around the high line. The outside line has got more grip. So that outside line where it never gets used, the exposed aggregate of the bitumen, and here comes Golding. He's putting a move on, he's down the inside. He's giving him a hit, he's off the road. Matt Payne goes through. He'll have to redress. He'll have to redress now.
That's going to be...
It's over.
That is going to be frowned upon almost certainly by race control. This changes this motor race.
Matt Payne.
This changes this motor race dramatically. And we knew that this was brewing. Let's have a look at the replay. He tries to fire up the inside. Golding makes light contact, and I think Murray was also just starting to tighten that line down. There's going to be wildly different views on what's right and wrong here. Now, Matt Payne is in the lead of the race from Golding, from Reynolds now on the podium. Here's the onboard. Bang gets him in the right rear. Now, did he tag him? Or did the gap diminish? Depends on which team you're barracking for as to what your viewpoint's going to be. What's the view of the driving standards advisor? What's the view of the stewards? These are tough calls. It's a great save. It's a great save. First gear. Get on with it. Out the other side. He's still in fourth. And have a go at the reaction. Have a go at the reaction at Grove Racing. They've gone crazy down there.
Race control attention all teams. Stewards have imposed a 5-second time penalty on car 31 for a driving infringement.
Penalty awarded to James Golding for the move at turn 2. 5 seconds is the penalty for James Golding.
He had to gather it up. So does Golding now just go, wham, I'm going to fire down the inside. That's Garth Tander. He'll be contemplating life as we speak because this is a massive
He's getting
moment.
there. He's getting there. He's right up the inside. This is a big, big moment. That's a brave place to be. Is he going to be able to hang on? Are either of them going to be able to hang on to it? Golding doing everything in his power. I'll bet there's butterflies in the tummy of Garth Tander there at the moment. On the run down to the final corner. Payne from Golding. Reynolds in the background. Golding down the inside. Golding down the inside with 1 to go. Can he make a margin of more than 5 seconds? That would be an unbelievably tall order. We have got 6,200 metres to go in what has been one of the all-time Bathurst 1000s.
But Reynolds is in now. Reynolds is in this battle.
Can David Reynolds pull off something truly extraordinary? People are going to have nervous breakdowns. They're going to burst into tears. Anything is possible here at the moment.
Oh, he's lost it. Oh, good save, but he's run wide. Now David Reynolds has got to get off this corner and get up to the back of Matt Payne. It escaped sideways on the brakes for Golding. He's holding it on the inside. You don't want to be wide. And now David has a look down the inside. He's got around the outside. He'll be on the inside of Matt Payne. He'll be on the inside. He had a run and he missed it.
Yeah, we saw it, mate. We saw it.
Emotion in the garages. Everything to play for. We are completely out of breath up here. Golding's got the lead. He's got 3 quarters of a second. That's David Reynolds. He's third at the moment, but on correction, that turns into second. They are feeling their way across the top of the map. You cannot see squat see where you're going at the top of Mount Panorama. What a way to finish this motor race. What an extraordinary day.
Here we go, David Reynolds. You've got to get off the dipper. If he gets to the back of Matt Payne, he's a chance down Conrod Straight.
So the challenge here is that we're all programmed to look at the leader, but he's got a 5-second penalty. So the battle for the effective race lead is right there between Payne and Reynolds. They go down Conrod Straight for the last time. This is almost impossible to describe. What an extraordinary day that we are witnessing at Mount Panorama. If Payne and Tander get this, wow, they have earned it today. The margin remains. The gap is 0.8 of a second. Matt Payne in the braking area at the chase. Here is the focus. Car 100. The Penrite guys are going to go completely berserk if this actually happens. So Golding will cross the line first, but he's not going to win this motor race because of the penalty. And the victory for the 2025 Repco Bathurst 1000 belongs to Matt Payne and Garth Tander with David Reynolds and Lee Holsworth second. What an unbelievable outcome.
Wow. Golding remains in third with the gap back to Murray, 5.6 seconds. So James Golding has been able to maintain the podium.
You're going to be exiting. I saw him on the left after turn one. Exiting on the left after turn one.
Unbelievable races in the history of this sport.
Not only do they win the great race, they'll take the Enduro Cup with it. Reynolds and Holdsworth threw everything at them and everything at the mountain. Spare a thought for James Golding, oh so close, but up on the podium. David Russell, he just collects podiums for fun at this place. Another one to add to the collection, and Cooper Murray misses out by just 0.6 of a second from standing up on that podium. Remarkable the whole way through. Some serious tales of woe further back in the field.